So here we have the 4 things you get from beating the 4 different bosses in Minecraft. And 3 out of 4 are just utter shit. And the 4th, you require millions of resources for it even to work. Let's talk about the first boss that you're most likely going to encounter, and that is the Ender Dragon. So you have just completed the game, so you probably will expect some cool rewards. Instead, you get an egg that literally does nothing, and is nothing more than a decoration. The opportunity they had here when they released the Elytra to just have that as a reward of the dragon too, that would solve the problem of the Elytra being overpowered, as you'd have to beat the final boss of the game to obtain one. Imagine beating the game and you have no prior knowledge of Minecraft and all you get is an egg, and you sit there for hours trying to figure out what this egg does, and eventually you come to the conclusion it does nothing. It gets progressively worse, as the next boss you're most likely going to encounter is the Elder Guardian. And considering it's underwater, you're probably like, oh yeah, this is gonna give me underwater powers. But no, of course it doesn't. It gives you a sponge. Yes, a sponge. What the fuck was the Minecraft creators thinking? Oh yeah, do you know what would be really funny if we made one of the bosses drop a sponge? Yeah, I'm sure that people would be laughing. And obviously it also drops the armor trim, but that's more of a recent thing. Even then, who really cares? So 2 out of 4 bosses in, and we've got an egg that does nothing and a sponge. Now let's talk about the 3rd boss, the Warden, the hardest of them all, the most health, the boss you're supposed to avoid. So what happens if you don't avoid it and you kill it? Well, you get a block that's in the ancient city and it's fucking everywhere. The Skulk Catalyst. Yes, the block that's literally everywhere, and the only benefit of getting it is to get more Skulk. Are you seriously kidding me? I get we're supposed to avoid this thing, but a block that's everywhere? What is going on? These are some really questionable decisions. 3 out of 4 bosses just drop shit. But finally we are now onto the Wither. And well, what does the Wither drop? It drops a Nether Star. What does this Nether Star do? It creates a beacon. What does the beacon do? It gives you abilities like mining incredibly fast. But how do you power the beacon? Well, that's when it just gets a bit ridiculous. You need 164 blocks of ores. That would either be iron, gold, diamond, or netherite. Yes, 164 blocks. Why? Why do this? And even then, the range is awful. It's like 50 times 50. Like, you go through all this effort, you get all these ores, you beat the Wither, and you get a 50 by 50 range to mine quicker. From a design point of view, all of these so-called rewards are really strange. An egg that does nothing, a sponge, a Skulk Catalyst that you can find anywhere in the surrounding area looking for a warden, and a beacon that requires even more materials to even power it in the first place? I mean, whose idea was it for these rewards? You would think that at least you get rewarded much better, and you can't even say the Elytra is technically a reward of the dragon, as you could just pillar out 1,000 blocks without fighting the dragon and get the Elytra. So that's not a direct reward of the dragon either. So all of these mobs are really shambolic, and it's like, what's the point of beating the game if I'm just gonna get an egg and a beacon that requires even more materials and a block that I don't give a shit about and a sponge? But anyway, comment down your opinion. I just find this really weird that none of the bosses really reward you that richly. It's really strange for so-called bosses. But anyway, leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you enjoyed, as I'm close to 1,000 or on 1,000. I keep on going in between. But thank you for watching, and goodbye.